Okay, so we're done with the bad and mediocre films this year. We now move on to the ones that made it to the top 10. Renzel de Silva's chilling story of terrorism, Kurban, is one. Well scripted, very well directed, and with excellent acting by Kareena Kapoor and Saif Ali Khan. It tells the story of Avantika's fairy tale marriage to Ehsan Khan turning into a nightmare when she discovers that he belongs to a terrorist organization. With great music by Salim Sulaiman, some very sensitive scenes and attention to detail, Kurban was a gripping film. I also enjoyed Ashutosh Gowarikar's What's Your Rashi. My friends thought I was mad, but I thought it was different. Harman Baweja meeting 12 girls, each belonging to a different Rashi, but all characters played very well by Priyanka Chopra, quite appealed to me for the sheer novelty of the concept. I loved the music by Sohail Sen, but my back was numb by the end of the nearly 4-hour-long film. What's your Rashi? Ye to bata do na. What's your Rashi? Itna bata do na. Kunal Deshmukh's Tum Mile was very, very nice. Lovely casting, great script, but the promotions misled us all into believing that it was a story about the catastrophic rains in Mumbai, while all the while long it's a love story, albeit an intelligent and a very realistic one. Ayan Mukherjee's Wake Up Sid was refreshingly lovely, with its story of the coming of age of the charming Ranbir, who plays Sid, his growing up aided by the lovely Konkana Sen, and all of it set to unforgettable music, particularly this song.
जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद कैसे मैं चलूं देख ना सकूं अनजाने रास्ते.
Dil Bole Hadippa was a riotous entertainer.
ओए वीरा, तू कपड़े धो रही है कि फाड़ रही है?
ओए, धोनी पाजी साडा जिंदगी भर वेट नहीं कर सकते कि वीरा बहन जी, तुसी पहले कपड़े धो लो, फिर ऑस्ट्रेलिया को जाके धो लेना, बात करते
While Ajab Prem Ki Gazab Kahani was a nice time pass, Katrina didn't just look all peaches and cream, but also acted, while Ranbir once again grew up.
एक बार थप्पड़ मारो मुझे.
Rocket Singh was brilliant, but I had huge problems with its dubious morality. A salesman trying to prove that one can be an honest worker, but his means of doing that are completely dishonest.
I'm Harpreet Singh Bedi. Salesman बनना है?
Yes, sir.
Visiting cards. 10 जेब में, 10 wallet में, 20 बैग में. चल.
लोगों को डिस्टर्ब करने से फटती है. सेल्समैन कैसे बनोगे?
In Kollywood, Mayandi Kudumbattar made the cut, as did Nadodi Girl. Both rural dramas, but both very honest. The first, directed by Rasa Madhuravan, is based on real-life incidents and affirms the transformative power of love and patience. It tells the story of two estranged brothers, Mayandi and Viramandi, the dynamics between them, and their sons and their families. With a cast comprising directors such as Ponvannan, Jagan, Seeman and Tarun Gopi, and a host of fresh actresses, Mayandi Kudumbattar was like light, cool rain on a hot summer's day. Nadodigal was also a film with a heart and with no pretensions, as was Ananthanarayanan's Valmiki, the story of a petty thief, Pandi, played tremendously well by Akhil. Meera Nandan as his love interest who reforms him swept you off your feet with her restrained acting. Achamunda, Arun Vaidyanathan's directorial debut was slick and intelligent. From a graduate of the New York Film Academy and a winner of international awards for his short films, what else can you expect but a cinematic jewel? This gripping thriller had a de-glamorized Sneha and a Prasanna who I never knew could be full of so many acting possibilities. Unnai Pol Urvan, starring acting heavyweights Kamal Haasan and Mohanlal, had you in its vice-like grip from the word go. Kamal Haasan was brilliant. Intense yet dispassionate, he holds the city to ransom and demands the release of 4 terrorists, failing which bombs planted in various places across the city will be triggered off. Trying to trace him is I.G. Marar, played beautifully by Mohanlal. Directed by Chakri Toletti, this is one of the top films this year. Director and actor Cheran's Pokisham, which is about the precious art of letter writing, was a sparkling gem of a film. Set in the 70s in Kolkata and Nagaur, it tells the story of love between Lenin and Nadira, played most convincingly by Cheran and Padma Priya. I found Pokisham sensitive, nuanced and extremely well directed and well acted with a touching story and screenplay. It's very Cheran if you know what I mean. There's that unmistakable earnestness, that respect for simplicity and reverence almost towards all human endeavors. Rohan Krishna made an earnest attempt with his Patalam, and Nirav Shah's cinematography deserves special mention in Sarvam. I found the concept in Iram quite novel, and the film was excellently made. Water becomes the villain, quite creepy. Surya worked his magic in Ayan, which was a very intelligent script, a result of meticulous research by director K.V. Anand and eyeball-popping stunts by William Hong and Kanal Kannan. Debutante Nandini gave us Thiru Thiru Thuru Thuru, a sweet, bubbly film but with many inconsistencies. Rupa Manjari was like a breath of jasmine-scented fresh air. Parasi Raja, while it may have won a state film award, had me hooked because of its subject. It didn't do much for me in terms of anything else. Acting, music, very average. And then, of course, Rajendra Prasad had us all in splits as the unlikely vegetarian cowboy, Quick Gun Murugan, fighting an epic battle with Rice Plate Reddy, who is of course a non-vegetarian and who wants to take over all the vegetarian restaurants and create the ultimate non-veg dosa.
This is Quick Gun Murugan.
With a luscious mango dolly and locket lover Lola Kuti, Shashanka Ghosh's Quick Gun Murugan was mad, wacky, over the top, loud and garish, but phenomenally witty and very, very funny. The list of good Hollywood films was happily long. Ice Age, Gran Torino, 2012, Public Enemies and Hangover. Here's a bit of each one and you'll know why they were thoroughly enjoyable.
What happened last night?
Am I missing a tooth?
Oh,
Whose baby is that?
Check its collar or something.
The age-old conflict between science and religion, conspiracies of secret societies, in this case the Illuminati, and the Catholic Church. I must admit I was intrigued by the Da Vinci Code's prequel, The Breathlessly Pacey Angels and Demons. X-Men Wolverine was a nice surprise considering I went to see it with little or no hopes. Harry Potter was delightful as ever. The two films that were magic were A Night at the Museum and Julie and Julia, both starring the impish, infectiously happy Amy Adams.
You make it sound so simple.
You should have seen the way those men looked at me.
But then they discovered I was fearless.
Oh, Julie and Julia was such a treat. When I come back in a bit, we look at the top 3 films this year. Oh, I can hardly wait. So stay right where you are.